This isn't supposed to happen. Hey loves, welcome back to the Aislingrose channel. So today I feel like I need to address sort of the elephant in the room, which everyone's been asking me about my name. And before this video even starts, no, my name is not Aislingrose. Yes, my name is Aislinn, but it's not spelled the way that I spell it. And before this video even starts, please do hit that like button if you are enjoying this video at any point. And please do hit that notification button. Forget about hitting even the subscribe button. Just hit the notification button. It'll subscribe for you and you know whenever I upload. So my name, Aislingrose. It's on the screen right here. Yes, my real name is Aislinn. No, it is not spelled that way. And my middle name, regardless of what people think, is not Rose. Now I know people have said before, how is Aislinn spelled the way on my channel pronounced Aislinn? I know, it's confusing. The way I spell it is actually Gaelic, and it is pronounced Aislinn or Aisling, depending on what you want to call it. But the majority calls it Aislinn. I feel like I need to kind of give you a little bit of a backstory into my name for you to fully understand why I chose that name. So when I was about 14 years old, my family and I all went to Ireland because we knew that we had family in Ireland, but we weren't planning on going there to meet them. We were actually planning on going there to see a family house that had been around for like 100 years. And we just genuinely wanted to go around Ireland and spend 10 days there and see as much as we could. So we flew in to Ireland and we landed there around like 5 a.m. in the morning. The airport hadn't even opened up yet, and where our hotel was at was in Kilkenny. And so we were getting to our rental car, we got there, we got to our hotel, and we were exhausted, completely exhausted. So our entire family took a nap for about an hour and a half, I would say. So when we woke up, we knew we wanted to go to Kilkenny Castle. So we got in our car and we drove there, and the castle was beautiful, spoiler alert, absolutely gorgeous. But when you went there, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think because we were first-time guests there, that they wanted us to write our name in a book. So I wrote my name down, and the guy who was at the front desk looked at my name, then looked at me, and he goes, "How do you pronounce your name?" And I was like, "My name is Aislinn." He says, "Oh my gosh, that's actually an Irish name, but we don't spell it A-S-H-L-Y-N, which is how I spell it." He said, "We spell it A-I-S-L-I-N-G. You would normally pronounce it Aisling, which is what I am commonly called." So I was like, okay, cool, awesome. And if you don't know anything about me, I love knowing meanings of names. And I was thinking, you know what, maybe their Aislinn is not the same as my Aislinn in English. Like maybe has different meanings and everything, so I didn't think too much of it. So we started walking through the castle, and we were about a few minutes into it, and then I hear my name being called behind me, and I turn around and it's the guy from the front desk. And he goes, "Hey, I want to give you a little bit more on your name." And so he hands me a little piece of paper with the meaning of my name on it, which is the exact same as it is in English, which is dream or vision. And at that moment I was like, okay, cool. I guess my name is actually an Irish name. That's awesome, that's amazing, and I've always loved the Irish heritage. I am part Irish, so I loved hearing that my name was actually an Irish name. So he kind of left us alone, and then we were almost at the end of the castle tour, and then he found me again, and he just came up to me and started talking to me, and I come to find out that his daughter's name is actually Aislinn. So I think he was kind of relating me to his daughter at that point, which was super sweet. He was a very sweet gentleman, and so I was absolutely in love with him. I loved talking with him. He was such a sweetheart. Then we talked for a little bit, he left, and as I was walking out of the castle, I turned around and there were some windows where the front desk was, and he was waving goodbye to me, and I was so happy. I was feeling so welcome in Ireland, and I had only been there for less than 24 hours, probably less than 10 hours to be honest. So right off the bat, my trip to Ireland was absolutely amazing just for that one experience. But the whole way through this trip, if you guys don't know, I have naturally curly hair. And I couldn't be bothered at that age to really like curl it or straighten it. I tried some of the days of our trip, but because it was so windy and misty, my hair just blew up every single day and would go back to its curly, frizzy mess. So I kind of just stopped bothering with it. And because my hair was so big and fluffy, I don't know why, but my mom kept calling me her Irish Rose. So automatically I was being called a Rose that entire time, and I found out that my name was actually Irish. If you want to know a whole story about what my trip was to Ireland, I have a lot of stories from there, so I'm definitely open to telling you guys about them. But for now, I'm just going to stick to the story of my name. So if you want to know any more about my Ireland trip, I'll let you guys choose down in the comments below if that is what you'd like to hear. So for years, I loved that name. And when I was around 16, 17, I bought my first Xbox. I was strictly a Wii video game player, but I was like, you know what? I finished video games every single time within like 24 hours or less on a Wii. It's too easy for me. I need something harder. And so I went and I saved up for an Xbox and I got a used Xbox, and I still currently use that Xbox because it has lived through a lot, let's say. And when it came time for me putting in a username for my Xbox, I was like, you know what? I think I'll just go with Aislingrose, but spelled in the Irish way. Aislingrose 280. P.S. That's my name on Xbox. I just kind of fell in love with the way that it looked, and I really liked how it sounded. And really quickly, people that I used to play with in video games who didn't know who I was would start calling me Rose because they would feel terrible if they pronounced my name wrong, and they didn't even want to try. So they just started calling me Rose, and I quite liked the way that the nickname sounded. So here is when things start aligning of why I chose this name. I started my second channel on Musical.ly about a year ago, and my name was Transition Ashlyn on there, but I knew I did not want to keep my name that forever. And when I started really growing on there and I started growing on other apps, I was like, I want my usernames to pretty much all be the same so people can find me much easier. If this one account's called Transition Ashlyn, this one account's called Ashlyn Joy, and this one's called Ashlyn Rose, no one will be able to find me. So I need to find a name that I will literally be happy with for the rest of my life. I do not want to change this name again, and I want this name to be able that I can build a brand around it. So I kept thinking for hours and days, even weeks, where I was like, I don't know what I want my name to be. And I also wanted a name that would give me some privacy so no one will know my actual real first, middle, and last name. You will know my first, real, and middle, but you will never know my last because I am very big on privacy. So I was like, what can I do to have a name and not give out my real birth name, if that makes sense. I tried Ashlyn spelled in the English way many different ways, many different combinations. I just didn't like how the spelling looked. I didn't like Ashlyn with anything. I couldn't even find something that I was remotely okay with. So I tried different names that were far from my name, like Purple Silver Dust, like random things. I tried random name generators. I tried so many different things. And then I was like, you know what? Let's try the Gaelic way of Ashlyn and see if I like that with anything. I kept pairing it with a bunch of stuff, did a bunch of different combinations, hated them all. Absolutely couldn't stand it. And I was playing on my Xbox one night and I was like, Ashlyn Rose. Okay. I don't hate that. So I started looking at the way that it was spelled. I tried different signatures with it. I tried just different fonts with it, and I loved it. I loved the Gaelic way of Ashlyn with Rose. The English way of Ashlyn, hated it. I am very weird on the way that lettering looks. To me, it either looks beautiful or it looks completely ugly. Ashlyn spelled the English way, so Ashlyn with Rose, looked hideous to me. But the Gaelic way of spelling Ashlyn put with Rose looked gorgeous to me. More and more I kept thinking about it and I kept falling more in love with it. So I was like, you know what? Ashlyn Rose. Ashlyn Rose is gonna be my name. And it took me a very long time because so many people were saying, well, you're gonna be called Aisling, or people aren't even gonna try and say your name, and it's gonna be pronounced wrong all the time. It's not actually your name because it's not the real spelling of your name. And honestly, it doesn't matter to me. It is still pronounced the same way as my real name, it's just not the right spelling. And it's spelled in a different language that way. I knew from the start that people would probably call me Aisling, or they would just completely skip it like most people do and go for Rose. And I am totally fine with that also. I was like, I am fine if I'm walking through a convention and someone calls me Rose. I don't care if you know how to pronounce my real name. Rose is fine. So it gives people my real name and a nickname depending on what they want to call me. So the whole of the story is Aislinn is my real name. The way it is spelled on my channel, it's not. It's in the Gaelic version. And Rose came from my mother calling me her Irish Rose. So with that being said, I am Aislingrose. You can call me Aislingrose, you can call me Rose. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you a little bit more knowledge on me so that you know how to pronounce my name, or you just want to know the origin of it. I hope that you enjoyed it. Again, if you want to hear about my stories in Ireland, I have quite a few of them, so let me know down in the comments below. And I love you guys so much. Thank you for being a part of my Vero family, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!